bitches? What's going on? I know it's late in the morning, and I am sitting here playing Dynasty Warriors. Welcome to the episode 76 of the Gaming Roundtable, still in Season 3. I have no rhyme or reason to my seasons, but anyway, tonight I am playing Dynasty Warriors, or early this morning, and we're doing our thing, and I'm exploring the open world that is China. And let me tell you something. This is episode 76, and I'm referring to this game as basically Dynasty Warriors 9. This episode is episode 76 of the Gaming Roundtable. It's Dynasty Warriors 9, and fuck IGN. Let me start by prefacing this. Okay, first of all, everyone knows. I've said this so many times. I've done videos on this stuff. I'm a huge fan of Dynasty Warriors. I love the series. I love the spin-offs. I love all that shit. Anything Omega Force makes to me is golden. However, does not necessarily mean that everything they do is perfect. And I want to start out by saying that I read the review at IGN, and it was a 5.8. That is 0.8 above average. So it's just the slightest bit above average game. You know what I tell IGN? You can go fuck yourselves, okay? Every Dynasty Warriors that seems to come out, from Dynasty Warriors 8 to 8 Empires and on so and so forth, including the Samurai Warriors and whatnot, IGN has consistently, ladies and gentlemen, my subscribers, have consistently gave this game a lackluster review. Now, I want to preface this too. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. You know, I want you all to understand that they don't ever get review copies of the game. Like, you never hear them saying, hey, this copy or this game was provided by, Omega Force, thanks for the review copy. You never hear that shit. I don't think they got a review copy. And when IGN can't get a free game, boy, oh boy, they're going to go ahead and bash it. Because many times where they don't get a free review copy, they actually don't, I think it kind of affects the score in some ways. I think they think, well, now we had to go out and buy it, so why should we even bother, because we're the great IGN. 5.8, y'all can go fuck yourselves. Okay? You can go fuck yourselves straight in your ass. And again, it's not because I'm just the biggest Dynasty Warriors fan. I am. But it's because I read the review and I realized, wow, they didn't actually fully play the game. They never fully played the game. They never talk about the hideouts that you can get, that you can buy and you can actually basically have your own home. And you know what you can do in these homes? You know what else you can do in these homes? Just like the Skyrim expansion, you can build your own furniture and invite officers that you're friendly with there. But it does more than just be some looks. You put a gong in your house and you ring it. It actually gives you bonuses and stats and things like that. It actually helps you in the game. Skyrim does kind of the same thing in a way with its whole build your own house and stuff, but it gets a 9.5 with its open world and all that. But fuck Dynasty Warriors, we give the 5.8. You can hunt in this game and use those things to craft materials and components. You can fish, that gives you money and different things like that for crafting materials. But you also state that it's like you basically throw it under the bus, and it's open world. The map, you talk about how there's very little, if anything, to do in the game world, and you talk about how you just roam from point A to point B. Your review is bullshit and fucking garbage. One of the things that they failed to mention in this game, in the review, by the way, not only the house stuff that I just mentioned, they failed to even mention the fact that the sound quality is amazing. When you are galloping on your horse like I am now, like the bass comes in, the thundering of the hooves come in, it's beautiful. China, it's basically a scaled down version of China. It's not all of China. It'll take you about 3 hours of real time to go from one point to point A to point B. That's a pretty huge map. And you can find materials for crafting, bandit camps. There's so much to do, like here. And here's the map here. I just want to show you that. This is kind of where I need to go or where I don't need to go. And there's different things you can do. There's a fast travel system. All the stuff that you find in games like Skyrim, Witcher, and things like that. And yet they pretty much took a shit all over this game world. And I think it's ridiculous. Okay, there's some materials there. I want to pick that up. And that helps you like create stuff. And I think it's a damn shame that they did that. They talk about this game, how Dynasty Warriors never changes anything. Well, for the first time, we have a Dynasty Warriors that truly changes and takes the combat, changes it, kind of spins it on its head, and puts the open world and does all this other stuff, and you got all this side stuff and all these things you can do. You can even like grappling hook, get through walls, grapple on these big long towers, and it kind of does Assassin's Creed and scopes out the land and points out points of interest. And yet, and with day and night cycles and weather and all this stuff, and yet IGN, who is bitched from series after series after fucking series, every time it doesn't change, it's the same shit, it's the same shit, it's the same shit. So Omega Force changes the series like pretty extensively in Dynasty Warriors 9, and you're still fucking, and then you bitch about that. Well, so to make it straight, they changed it, which is what you've been wanting this whole time, and then they changed it, and now you fucking hate it. You know what? You all can just go fuck the hell off. You know, that is a load of shit, in my opinion. I mean, here's some cool things. I can literally ready a bow. And every character has a bow, and I can fire from range. You can create fire arrows, poison arrows, all kinds of different stuff like that. If I want to squat down, they have a better, closer stance. It's basically squatting, basically lets you zoom in. You know, I can put it away. Look, my weapons are not out. And every Dynasty Warriors the weapons had to come out. Look, I can draw them out now. It's pretty cool. You got your trigger attack, you know, which lets you launch or do specials and knock down. It's an interesting, like, design. They'd be able to, like, unsheath and sheath your weapons. And I think that's really neat. And I find myself, like, surprised that they have consistently said, like, some of the most negative things about this game, and only pointed out like the things that are negative. They didn't point out the fact that so many of the animations have changed. They've overhauled the entire game to be a better game as far as like the animation goes. Okay, so here's a good point. And I may have already climbed up this tower. I probably have, but let me climb up this tower just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. So you can grapple hook up, get up on a tower. Now, when you normally get up on top of these towers, this is what happens. This is the Assassin's Creed thing, or Far Cry thing. It does the same thing. They actually criticize this. And see, it points out points of interest now. From your what? Defeat the desperate unit. So if I go here, and like I click on this as a waypoint, right? I can move to specify location and a fast travel. And I've got to like fight and confirm the request of captain who's at the camp nearby. You know, I'm just kind of wandering now, trying to figure out what to do. There are items here to pick up. This is kind of a neat little thing here. You'll notice on the mini map up here. And this is what I'm talking about. Like this, we're talking about. They created an open world version of fucking China. It's amazing. Like the fact that we even have this. Okay, so when you're near water, see, I got bait. Now that I found bait, I can fish, and you can catch it. And if you catch it, the best thing is you can sell a lot of it for crafting. You get a lot of gold for doing it. It's really fascinating, just trying to figure out what to do. So it says defeat this desperate unit. That's what it says here. This is going me, but this is, I think, my main quest. One of the things that's nice is this right here. It says I should be level 19. I'm actually not like near that, but you can pick like from your map and go straight to like the battles and things like that. So you can still do like a kind of a quick select, so to speak. Or, so I gotta see here. What's going on here?
Capturing that area will deflate their morale.
So I gotta capture an area, essentially. I'm gonna go over here real quick, grab these items, common lumber, and this is all the stuff that you need to like, you know, you can jump off walls now too, which is kind of neat. But you're just trying to get there. You actually have a stamina meter. This has so much roleplay tropes that you find in games like Witcher and find in games like this, like Skyrim, and yet they're basically throw the entire game. Read the review. Go on IGN. You can tell they didn't read the shit. You can tell they didn't read. They didn't really play the game. Okay, so here's some combat. These are some big battles here. They don't know I'm there, so I'll throw this out. Do my little thunder like lightning thing, because you can add gems to weapons, and it lets you like, you know, create, you know, I'm gonna lock on here. He's like attacking me. You can still block and stuff. It's kind of nice. You lead to these neat little flow attacks, and it's very neat the way that they set this up. And I love these launch attacks. Boom, 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 boom. Then I can switch to knockdown attack, which knocks them on the ground. And you're just trying to basically fight these enemies, and again, you still do some large-scale kind of battles. It's just fun to, like, again, to tear through these units, as always, you know, as any scale of, okay, he's attacking me, I'm gonna do the stun attack, boom, he's stunned, and then I can do the triangle to do the finish, and you're done. I love the new combat system. It's interesting to play the combat system, because the combat system, and I can hit triangle when I have an attack of opportunity, and I can put that in there. You know, they drop stuff. There's another thing dropped. Do another stun attack on him. He's done. Gotta quell this stuff. Let's see here. You got these guys to deal with. I love doing that launch attack. I love this aerial stuff. It's badass. This is great and a lot of fun to do. You get materials for doing that. I've earned gold. So we took over the area. Got rid of that guy. And I love the fact I can, like, do that. Like, put my swords away, roam around. And again, like, IGN gave this game such a barely review, and I could tell that the guy didn't actually, they never really truly played the damn game. They just didn't. And they did not play the game in its full or look up everything, and they just didn't. Because had they, then they would seen the robust changes to the system and all that. And I'm very disappointed that they would do that with this game. And again, I love Dynasty Warriors. I find myself like thinking about this game a lot, thinking this is probably one of the best games in the series, and yet, you know, they want to basically throw it under the fucking bus, and I think that really sucks. This is a side quest. This is pretty neat. I'll accept the thing. So now I've got to allies under attack by a desperate unit that prepared. So I gotta go defend my allies. So this is where I need to go. This is where you see the little these points here, so I can go fight these guys. I'm gonna do my special in the air and attack them with lightning. I leveled up, and when you level up, you actually can distribute skill points. Very similar to any other roleplay game that you may have like played. I'm gonna do this. Get him with that. Got him. So let's see here. So I defeated this desperate unit. I gained to level 14, which is really cool. So let me show you this. So when you get in here, let's do this whole upgrade system. I got 3 points. Sometimes you earn more than that, but I can increase my health. I increase different aspects of my character. I think that's neat. But you know, like I said, fuck you, IGN. Fuck you for even sitting here and talking shit about the game and telling us how like it was mediocre and it was this and that, and we don't understand why they did this and why they didn't, like, blah 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 blah. You know what? Fuck you. For fuck IGN for sitting there. I'm just saving it real quick. And and it'll go back to the normal screen. You know, you didn't even really play the game. You never mentioned the fact that horses level up with you. You didn't mention the fact the house stuff. You didn't mention the fact that all the different crafting abilities, you can create furniture for your houses. You mentioned nothing. You mentioned nothing about being able to augment your swords with, like, you know, different, you know, gems like fire and ice and all this other cool stuff. You mention none of this stuff in your review. So why would you fail to mention that in the review? If it was fucking a Bethesda game, like a Skyrim or a Witcher, you would have fucking totally mentioned it in your review. You would have been like, oh yeah, it does this and it does that and it does this, and it's like bullshit. That's so bullshit that in this open world game, and Dynasty Warriors, while still a hack and slash, has basically turned into this roleplay game, especially with the story where you can actually see what really happens in the story and all this stuff. You mean to tell me that you all won't mention any of these new changes and stuff like that at all? Oh no, fuck Dynasty Warriors, we give it a 5.8 because we didn't get a fucking review copy. That's not cool of Omega Force. Omega Force didn't fucking barely give review copies to anybody. And on top of that, to give something a lower score based on the fact, even though it does all the same thing these other games I'm mentioning does, you know, you literally, you've bitched so much about the formula of this game not changing, and then it changes, and then you bitch about it like it wasn't what you wanted, and you're talking about you'd rather go back to how it was. Well, wait a minute. You reviewed the different games so many times, you actually don't like the way it was. They changed it. Now you want it to go back to the way. So wait a minute. You can't dislike a game. They changed the game just like that, and you want it to go back to the way that you disliked in the first fucking place. You're fucking stupid. Like, you're a fucking idiot for even saying some shit like that. That's dumb. That is fucking retarded. Episode 76, Dynasty Warriors 9, fuck IGN, and this is a rant against them because you can tell, as always, they never really fucking played the game. Never really fucking happened. They never really played the game. You know they never played the game, not to its extent. They don't mention half the shit, excuse me guys, that they have done in this game. They mention none of that crap, and that just pisses me off because I think that is ridiculous to sit there and to have a game like this, to add everything they did in sound design, the open world map, to be able to go wherever, do whatever, see these story missions, to be able to hunt, fish, craft, have your own hideouts and houses, build furniture, all the stuff that's a staple of pretty much about every roleplay game, you know, that's out there now, that you criticize it. You're kidding me. You're criticizing this game. You're criticizing the game for making the change. Okay, I've already done this tower. But that's ridiculous to me. That is absolutely utter shit. That's trash. You cannot trash on a game for doing exactly what you've been wanting it to do, and now you're bitching about it going back to how they used to be. Okay, so I've got bait now, and I think maybe I gotta go into my inventory maybe. Okay, so items, enhance actions, like a regular bait enables you to fish when near water. So now I'm into do hold on, change it to oh, it's because I have only certain things like equipped. So let me go to this real quick and go to regular bait, and I think it says, oh wait a minute, I can't do anything with it right now, hold on, sorry. Change my items out here on my character equipment, since whatever, so I gotta change that back to vitality powder. So everything else is fine, I guess. But again, that's just all I'm saying. Like, you cannot criticize this game, IGN, fuck you for criticizing Dynasty Warriors 9. Dynasty Warriors 8, you bitched about it not changing its formula. Dynasty Warriors 7, you bitched about it not changing its formula. You bitched about 6. You bitched about 8 empires and 6 empires. I can go way back. Go back to 5. Go back to 4. You've complained continuously about how Dynasty Warriors 9 is just the same old, hit X over and over again. This happens, and you always score a 5. You always score a 6 or a 4. You give it terrible reviews. Dynasty Warriors 9 comes out, changes its formula to this big open world China, go here, do that, changes the combat, changes the stuff that you all have been complaining about for several games now. You've complained about it not changing its formula. It changes its formula, and IGN actually legitimately bitched about the new formula and wants it to go back to the old formula. But you didn't like the old formula. How can you bitch about the old formula? It changes. You hate that and you want to go back to the old formula that you don't like in the first place. That's fucking retarded. That is fucking stupid. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, you cannot sit there and bitch about that kind of thing. To me, it's ridiculous. You don't mention anything in review about how your horses level up. You mention nothing about how fishing and hunting to get your crafting parts, how you got these houses that you can buy and craft furniture for them. But there's certain things that you can do with the furniture, like you build a gong or you build certain things, and they actually give you bonuses and help this and that in the game. Like, it's not just there for looks. They actually tied it into some stuff. You've got your new sound design rebuilt from the ground up, new engine. I can sit there and ride on my horse. It sounds like a nice gallop, but when you go full on, it kicks in that bass, kicks in that gallop sound. The combat's been overhauled. It's a better combat system with a more interesting ebb and flow with that. There's all these side quests. You got a grapple hook now that lets you grapple on the city walls and scale stuff and do all this stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they actually gave the game a 5.8. And all the stuff that I just said to my subscribers out there and people who are viewing, they never mentioned any of that in the review. None of it. And I'm telling you, IGN did not get a free copy of this game when they requested it. And the reason I know this is because they fucking reviewed the fucking game right before it came out and launched. Because IGN has a history of getting games early. Early. I'm going to have a little beer in the throat. But my point is that even though I love Dynasty Warriors, and I'm not even saying this game's a 10. I don't even think the game's a 9. It's definitely an 8.5 for me. I don't review games, but if I had to, that's basically what I would say it is. I love the changes. I love the fact I can roam around China. I love the fact I can just pull out a bow and hunt animals and attack stuff from afar. I love the fact that I can pull my weapons out and put them away. I love the fact that I can roam. They changed the animations on everything. The fact that you have a different combat system. The fact that you have a blacksmith. You can craft weapons. You can craft different abilities and different gems. All this crazy shit that you can do in the game. And again, if these doors were closed and I was raiding an area, look, watch. Boom. I can hit grappling hook, jump up to the freaking roof, bypass that stuff, do surprise attacks. It's amazing. So here's a battle I'm about ready to jump into. So pull out my stuff, attack these enemies, it's do the whole thing, hit him with the special, attack this assault captain, 1, 2, throw a little special out, zip in the air, boom, look at this, boom, 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 boom. But finish him off with that attack. Get rid of these characters. Like, you still have large scale battles. You still have the ability to attack, except you gotta pick your attack there where I get like a launch or a stun or a special. That's what I'm saying. Like, the combat is much more of a controlled thing, and I like that. The only reason I launch a lot is because I got launcher with a thunder gem that adds to my swords, which lets me create lightning damage. Look at, boom, got him with that. That pops up. So I'm going to go over here on what he dropped. So I got some poison arrows that allow me to like equip poison arrows so I can poison people over time. Again, Dynasty Warriors 9 has turned into this open world hack and slash. It's still a hack and slash game, but it's essentially an action RPG. There's all these crazy RPG elements now in the game. And the game, I've always said, has always had RPG elements. Look at that. Boom, all those flow attacks. You're done. He dropped that. Oh, cool, I got 100 gold. So we took this area. They couldn't attack my base. One thing that's really neat on the map, if you see here on the map, it's very large, but sometimes it pops up and you can see there's different treasures. Powerful enemies at beach and bandits lurking areas of large amounts of treasures. Sometimes you got to fight like really huge bears and stuff. That's a neat thing. There's a lot of interesting like things that go on in the game, and even when you're not performing in a battle, sometimes this little map pops up even when you're not doing anything. What's really cool is you'll get into this point where you'll see where like you're like the blue and red, they go back and forth, like battles and wars are happening and skirmishes are happening in real time. It's very cool. So I'm going to this next one here, see what I can do here and attack this base. Yeah, he's pretty much done. And then gotta attack his captain. We'll do a little knockdown attack. You know, I still got the lightning flow going. It's pretty neat. Gotta attack this guy, get him down. Alright. See how the little thing shows the red and blue, like it shows you as you continually to take over bases or you do stuff, you weaken the enemy. Again, a lot of the stuff that IGN talked about, they really did not really fully get into the game. They never really fucking played the game. You can tell they don't mention half the stuff I've been talking about. Fuck IGN for fucking doing that. Like, you did not play the game in its entirety. You didn't play it to its full extent. You didn't mention any of the stuff that should have been mentioned, and you just didn't. And I think I think that's sad. It's very sad that they didn't do that. I think that is sad that they didn't mention all the stuff you can craft, the material gathering, the fishing, the hunt. I mean, they talk about it, but it's so brief. You could tell they were thought, well, this doesn't do anything, so whatever. So here's another thing. Here's something. Okay, so see this bonfire here, right? Okay, again, nothing mentioned by the review. So if I want to rest here, I can cook. I can create like roasted vegetables. It says increases the EXP you earn for a long period of time. There's different things you can cook that changes that. I can advance time to morning, evening, or night. And that's kind of a neat thing to do at this bonfire. And I like that. It's something, again, that they don't... So let me just do this real quick. Let me jump off here. Let me do this. So let me do this bonfire thing. I'll rest. I'm going to advance the time to evening. Right, so I'm going to rest, and when you rest and your health's low, you do get your health back, so the sun's going down, so you know that affects like everything. And again, graphically, the game is so much more impressive visually because of this the daylight cycles and stuff. And even those blue lines basically tell me where to go. I really can kind of go wherever I wish. Okay, I gotta grab that. That's some jackness. It's like a purple or rare equipment. Go up here on this hill there, and again, it's just one of those things. Okay, here's some bandits or something. I guess I'll fight them, you know, deal with them, you know, which I love the fact that, you know, you can do all this stuff. Okay, I got a special up. I'm gonna do my special, my Muso attack, just tearing them up. Now, IGN did criticize the new English localization because they didn't use... Omegaverse did not use the typical people who do the American voices. Well, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why. The American voices, I'm going to say, they're real hit or miss and kind of spotty. But it is nice that they decided to include it at least, because the last few Warriors games didn't have it. Didn't have those kind of things. So I'm just rolling up here. Now I'm in this wintry, like, kind of, because you're up high, so you get a little bit of mix of snow. And again, it's just a really cool game because I can just kind of freely roam all across China, whatever I want to do. You know, and they could sit there and criticize. They criticize it a lot, too. They actually criticize the open world. Oh, it's just busy work. There's all these icons. Okay, so wait a minute. So is Far Cry, but you give Far Cry a fucking good review. Or how about, I'm going to do this knockdown here. Try to get him, like, and I get him. Boom, got him. Like, you criticize, you're literally criticizing this game for doing the exact same thing that the other games that you don't criticize doing. It's unbelievable to me that they even do that. Like, you're literally criticizing a game for doing what those other games do that you give good reviews for. But this game does it, and you actually bitched about it. Fuck you, IGN. This is episode 76 of the Gaming Roundtable, and this episode is basically Dynasty Warriors 9, but fuck IGN for saying what they have said about it. It's absolutely absurd. See, now when their health turns white, they will run away. And I'm, like I said, I'm just kind of roaming around doing stuff, like finding things to fight, going up high on these mountains. Like, the open world China is great. It's such a wonderful change of pace from just picking a mission and going on the battle. I think it's great. They've done a great job with this, and I think anybody out there that likes hack and slash games, but also will like games with a huge open world and different side, hundreds of side things to do, and all that, will appreciate this game. They will really enjoy the game for what it is. And it's not perfect. It's absolutely not perfect by any stretch of the means. This is exactly like how I feel about it. And but yeah, at the same time, I welcome the change because it's nice to play a Dynasty Warriors that's so open and so free to do whatever, and it's just really nice. It's just a nice change of pace to feel that, and I'm so happy that Omega Force went this direction with the game. Like, I really am. It's a very smart direction to go this way. And again, it's not perfect by any means, but what open world game is? Like, they're just not all that way. Doing another flow attack here. Then right into special. Boom. Right there. It's kind of nice. Got one more assault captain here to deal with. I'll take care of him. Just cutting swaths through the thing. The game is still a blast to play and a lot of fun to play. Definitely. See, he's going to run because they actually, like, now retreat when you've done a lot of damage to them in overhaul. So let me see if there's anything in these crates. And again, I could actually use my bow to take care of this too. I can just fire and destroy crates that way. Again, I think this is a very nice touch that they added to the game. You know, put my bow away and go this way. I'm just like roaming and looking for battles and things like that, but I can do that. I can look for materials. I can go to the map. I can actually see, hey, if I want this materials, there might be a battle going on here. You know, you're just basically like being able to pick and choose what you want to do and where you want to go. It's really nice. There's Lu Wahang, something there. That's another tower. I mean, it's fun. And it does have those, yes, it borrows from Assassin's Creed in a little bit. It borrows from Far Cry in a little bit. But fuck you, IGN, for fucking giving those other games really awesome scores for doing all those little things. Dynasty Warriors 9 does it, and you're like, fuck Dynasty 5.8. Fuck you. It's doing the same thing, those other games that you reward 9s to, and yet you're going to throw it under the bus. All because you didn't get a fucking free copy of it? Fuck you. Fuck you, IGN. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. You don't deserve to review games. That's exactly how I feel about it. Anyway, This has been episode 76 of Dynasty Warriors 9. Fuck IGN. I will be back probably tomorrow night with some more videos. I got in late tonight, so I couldn't do like as much as I would like. And sorry if you agree with me, please comment. If you disagree with me, please comment. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate my subscribers so much. Thank you so much. I have 12 now. My goal is to get 20 at the end of the year. It's a small goal, but with your help, I can make it. And for those of you who have been following me through all 3 seasons, you have my utmost gratitude. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will be back with some more Dynasty Warriors 9 gameplay for sure. And I'll be coming at you with some Kingdom Come Deliverance stuff soon. And right around the corner is coming out is Sword Art Online. And I'm a big fan of the games in the series. Sword Art Online's Fatal Bullet's coming out. And this is going to be the one game that I think is going to turn people away from Destiny and the Division and games like it. I'm pretty sure it's going to do it. And I'll be bringing you gameplay with that as well. And thank you for tuning in. And this has been episode 76, season 3, Gaming Roundtable. I am the guy telling you the way it is. I am the Juice Man. And as always, gamers, good gaming.